This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social, and I'm delighted to be joined by James Branch. James, how you doing?
How we going, mate? All good, not too bad, thank you. Just looking forward to doing the business now, you know. Nearly there, 24 hours.
You are indeed 24 hours away. Now, you've had 4 fights so far?
No, that's my second fight.
That's your second fight, blimey, my bad.
Tomorrow's my third.
Tomorrow's your third.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's your third. Just introduce yourself to the viewers, then just let people know a little bit about your style and what to expect when they watch you.
I had a very successful amateur career. I won 7 national titles, 3 GB titles, a number of international titles as part of Team GB. I was in England international. Beat a lot of the top fighters in the world in the amateurs and at heavyweight, which is 91 kilo, which is now a cruiserweight. I've just turned over. Now I'm looking to do the same thing in the professional ranks, you know what I mean? So I'm just taking my time, slowly coming through. I'm only 23 years old, so I'm a young cruiserweight, very young. But I'm going to come through, a bit of time and that, and come do the business, you know what I mean?
Talk to me about the differences that you've found so far between amateurs and professional fighting.
Yeah, it's, to be honest with you, what I've noticed, technically they're not as good. Well, especially from fighting the best fighters in the world in the amateurs and that, do you know what I mean? In with a lot of the best fighters, but they make up for it in other aspects. So they're stronger, they're fitter, such as things like that. You know what I mean? So I've just learned I've just got to take my time, slow down a little bit, my feet. You know what I mean? I ain't just 9 minutes of dancing no more. Do you know what I mean? You've got to go out and fight for longer, and yeah, just take your time, plant your shots a little bit because I know.
Now, talk to me about tomorrow night, you know, who you're going in with and what type of performance are you looking to give the crowd?
I'm going in with a very experienced opponent. He's 120 odd fights. He's boxed the likes of Dylan White, he's boxed Derek Chisora, he's boxed people like that, and he's gone a distance with him, you know what I mean? So it ain't easy to get out of there. So I'm just going to go in there, try on a lovely boxing performance, break him up, and who knows?
You mentioned some of those names that he's been in with. Does that add a little bit of extra pressure for yourself to maybe want to perform?
I'm one of them people there. Now that's our mental challenge in my head then, do you know what I mean? Then to go in and hopefully make a bit of a statement.
Talk to me about next year, big 2019 ahead for yourself, I presume. What has Frank said? What have you been looking at?
Yeah, it should be a big 2019. I don't think Frank wants me to be boxing around for long with journeyman, you know. I think he wants to push me up there, obviously considering the amateur career I had. But this professional game, to me, this is my life. It's going to be a marathon, not a sprint race, you know. And I'm only 23, so I'm going to take my time. But I will probably be fighting for titles by the end of next year, you know what I mean? But it'll all come slowly.
Talk to me, obviously you've just mentioned you're 23, it's a very young age to turn over to professional game.
As a cruiserweight.
As a cruiserweight,
you know what I mean? So you look at a lot of lights of champions there now coming through, they're all 27, 28, so they've got a few years on me. And but to be honest with you, I've beat most of them, do you know what I mean, in the amateurs. I ain't going to name no names, that's not my style, but anyone that knows already knows what I've done in the amateurs and that, do you know what I mean? I've got some very good wins on my record, and it's going to come through there now. A few years, imagine when I'm their age, I'm going to be unstoppable.
Any hints as to any names that you can mention?
Just do your research.
No, I will do as soon as we get back. How are you feeling about that little bit of pressure though? Because you just mentioned some of the guys, you haven't mentioned some of the names, but you've mentioned that you've been able to beat some people successfully who are doing well currently as professionals. Are you feeling any added pressure in that sense that you've got to maybe live up to or maybe surpass what those guys have achieved? I'm sure on back of watching this interview, people research the guys that you have beaten, they'll think, oh, okay, this kid's got a bit about him, he's been in with these guys, he's one to look out for. You maybe feeling any added pressure in that sense?
There could be added pressure. But I'm the type of person, I like that pressure. You know, I've boxed all my life. I've boxed since I was 8 years old. So this is just my life. Getting in the ring is just all I know. Getting in and just outboxing people. It don't really matter how old they are, how big they are, who they are. Just go in there and hit, not get hit, and you're going to win. But yeah, there is a bit of added pressure. Obviously, my dad was a very, very successful fighter as well. You know, so I'm like obviously I'm known as Branch Junior coming through. So I'm the son coming through. So there's added pressure and a few different things. I've got to deal with the boxing news. They follow my life. The boxing news like monthly. You know, an article. So there is pressure in that, but. If I'm going to be who I want to be, you know, I've got to be able to take the pressure and perform, you know.
Well, James, I appreciate your time and thanks for being to Boxing Social.
Your time, it means a lot. Thank you. Cheers.